on the move and gaining strength. Now forecast to potentially hit Florida as a Category 2 hurricane. High winds and heavy rain already destroying roads and homes in its path. Puerto Rico bracing to get hit today. Our team live in the storm zone with the very latest.
President Trump approving an emergency declaration for Puerto Rico, but also facing new scrutiny over the plan to shift hundreds of millions of dollars from FEMA disaster relief to the border instead.
Raising the alarm in the Amazon as the lungs of the earth burn. The new concern about respiratory problems for children in the fire zone.
Caught on camera, a terrifying rhino encounter. The massive animal ramming its horn into a zookeeper's car, flipping it over 3 times. How that woman amazingly survived.
Dorm room fire. Overnight, flames erupting in this college bedroom, sparked by a popular battery-operated skateboard, forcing hundreds of students to evacuate and causing $20,000 worth of damage.
And ABC News exclusive, Rob Gronkowski, here for his first live interview since announcing his retirement.
Football was bringing me down.
Revealing the Super Bowl injury that changed everything, why he decided to walk away at just 29, and what's next for the 3-time champ.
Live in Times Square, this is Good Morning America.
Good morning, America, on this Tuesday morning, or what is it, Wednesday morning?
It's Wednesday.
Wednesday morning. We're really excited.
It's not Friday.
No, you know why? You know I'm thinking Tuesday because that's when I watched Rob Gronkowski's presser that made a lot of headlines. Yeah. So excited to have him here. A lot to get to with him.
Yeah, that presser was quite emotional, sort of surprising. He revealed something not a lot of us knew, that serious injury that led to him retiring at just 29 years old, an injury that happened in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, a lot of questions for him, so we'll be talking to him later. But first, we are going to begin with Tropical Storm Dorian on the move and those new fears this morning that it could hit the U.S. as a hurricane.
It's already caused damage in the Caribbean. It's heading toward Puerto Rico right now. And overnight, President Trump approved an emergency declaration for the island. Rob Marciano starts us off with the very latest. Good morning, Rob.
Hey, good morning, Michael. This is what it did to Martinique when it was a smaller, weaker storm. Look at the flooding coming in there. A passenger bus there. Hopefully everybody got out okay, but that's just 4 inches of rainfall. So it's got a lot of rain. It's going to have a lot of wind, and we are getting now into prime time for hurricane season. So we got not one, but 2 storms to speak of. We'll deal with Aaron later. More concern is Dorian right now because it's still about 80 miles from St. Croix. So the U.S. Virgin Islands is going to be impacted with tropical storm warnings for the British Virgin Islands and all of Puerto Rico for 70-mile-an-hour winds, especially on the east side of this. As you see, once it goes past Puerto Rico later on tonight and tomorrow and through Friday, by Saturday it's a Category 1 into the southwestern waters of the Atlantic where it's very warm. Category 2 by Saturday night, Sunday, and sometimes Sunday night into Monday. Anywhere from really Miami up towards Savannah, maybe even the Carolinas. I want to show you the spaghetti models, kind of give you an idea what our computer models are saying, and they're not in very good agreement once we get out into the later periods here. So a lot of uncertainty as it goes towards the U.S. coastline, but likely to be at least a hurricane as it gets closer. First things first, so let's go to Puerto Rico Live, where Victor Aquino is with us. Victor, you were there with me during Hurricane Maria 2 years ago. What's going on today?
Good morning, Rob. We are on the southern part of the island. We wanted to see how people outside of San Juan were preparing for the storm. We found neighborhoods full of homes not ready to withstand whatever Dorian brings.
Overnight, heavy winds and rain touching down on Martinique, leaving washed out roads throughout the island. This morning, the people of Puerto Rico on edge, still dealing with the aftermath of Hurricane Maria, which struck the island nearly 2 years ago. Packing 155-mile-per-hour winds, killing nearly 3,000 people.
The whole island has been traumatized, so you have to take that into consideration.
26,000 Puerto Ricans still living under blue tarp roofs. We were invited inside this home.
You can actually see what the original roof looked like in this home. Part of that blue tarp, it's peeking in.
FEMA says they are far more prepared than 2017, stocking warehouses around the island like this one with vital supplies at the ready.
FEMA took a very aggressive stance for Dorian. It is the first system of the year, and we understand that the island is still very fragile.
Last night, the governor said officials were 90% ready for Dorian. They'd be making their final preparations today. Time is quickly running out. Tom?
And those blue tarp homes so dangerous. All right, Victor, thanks for that. The storm is also hitting travel hard as we head into a holiday weekend. Airlines canceling flights and cruise lines rerouting their ships. Alex Perez is in the Dominican Republic this morning where they're bracing for Dorian's effects. Alex, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Tom. Thanks to Dorian. Already some major problems for travelers trying to get in and out of the Caribbean. Take a look behind me here. You can see the airport here in Punta Cana is still open. Some travelers trying to get out of here this morning, but all of the airlines already issuing waivers for those travelers who are being forced to reschedule their flights. And it's not just in the air. Royal Caribbean rerouting a number of its cruise ships. Those ships now taking a more Western Caribbean route to avoid any impact from the storm. Cecilia?
Okay, Alex, thank you. And overnight, President Trump approved that emergency declaration. But just as we are about to hit the peak of hurricane season, we're now learning the president wants to take more than $155 million from FEMA and use that money in his fight against illegal immigration. Our senior national correspondent Terry Moran has more from the White House. Terry, the outcry was swift on this one. Democrats say that this is going to drain funding for disaster relief.
That's right. They say it's a bad trade-off. It came as a surprise. It's $155 million from FEMA and $271 million from the Department of Homeland Security all together going down to the border. That's a lot of money. The administration says it's necessary. It's needed to deal with the huge influx of people coming to the southern border. It's going to be used to provide detention beds and hearing facilities and transportation costs in a situation where those facilities are already overcrowded and resources are strained right through. But Democrats say this trade-off could have deadly consequences.
Yeah, there's going to be definitely a fight over this one. But Terry, one more immigration headline before we go this morning. This one from the Washington Post reporting that President Trump is in a real race to finish his border wall before the 2020 election. There's even talk that he could possibly seize some private land to make this happen.
Well, that's always been in the cards, Cecilia. The government has the power of eminent domain, but there's no question President Trump is pushing it right to the edge. This is, of course, his central campaign promise. It is still a rallying cry, as you know, at all of his rallies, and he wants it done. He wants 500 miles of border wall by Election Day. Right now, there's only about 60 done, and so he's pushing hard. He's even said he will pardon federal officials who break the law in order to get this done. His aides say he's joking, but they're he's not joking about getting this done. They also confirm one other thing. He wants the wall painted black, and he wants it to be spiky on top, black, so that it's hot to the touch in the sun along the border. Cecilia?
He's very concerned about that aesthetic. Okay, Terry Moran, thank you so much. Michael?
All right, thank you, Cecilia. Now to a possible blockbuster deal in the works. A source telling ABC News Purdue Pharma is offering a massive package to end the lawsuits against the company over its role in the opioid epidemic. Steve Osunsami joins us from Atlanta with the details. Good morning, Steve.
Good morning to you, Michael. This is getting expensive for the drug makers. If this deal goes through, it would cover treatments for addicted Americans. This morning, the drug manufacturer, who according to the government makes one of the most common painkillers involved in prescription opioid deaths, is offering a potential deal. Purdue Pharma, makers of OxyContin, is willing to settle more than 2,000 lawsuits that the drug maker is currently facing related to opioid addictions. A source tells ABC News that Purdue offered a package that could be worth up to $10 to $12 billion. In a statement, the company explains that while Purdue Pharma is prepared to defend itself vigorously in the opioid litigation, it sees little good coming from years of wasteful litigation and appeals. The New York Times is reporting that as part of the proposed settlement, that members of the Sackler family who own the drug maker would give up their stake in the company and pay $3 billion of their own money.
Do you believe Purdue's marketing was overly aggressive?
No. This is all coming out after the release of this 2015 video testimony from former chairman and president Dr. Richard Sackler.
Do you know whether OxyContin is more powerful or less powerful a drug than morphine?
Depends what you mean by powerful. If powerful means potency, absolutely. It is twice as potent as morphine.
The members of the Sackler family who own the company made billions developing and selling OxyContin. Purdue Pharma says it is working actively with top state officials and plaintiffs across multiple states to get a deal done. Tom?
Again, more than 2,000 cases. All right, Steve, thanks so much. Now to the fight to save the Amazon. This morning, concern is growing over how the fires and smoke could affect people's lungs, including children, as more residents report respiratory problems. This as the battle rages on over funding to fight the flames. Matt Gutman is on the front lines with the very latest this morning. Matt, good morning.
Tom, good morning. It rained here a little overnight, yet you can still smell the smoke in the air. That hasn't increased a sense of urgency here, with Brazil's president seeming to argue with European leaders because he's unhappy about how donations have been offered here.
This morning, as fires continue to rip through the Amazon, world leaders are butting heads. After rejecting a pledge of $22 million in aid by France's President Emmanuel Macron and G7 nations, Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro insisting his government will find a solution and give the world satisfaction. Brazilian officials then said perhaps the money would be better served reforesting Europe. This as President Trump tweeted his support for Bolsonaro, known as the Trump of the tropics, and Bolsonaro chiming in, accusing the, quote, fake news media of distorting Brazil's fire control efforts, including its deployment of troops to the fire lines. New drone video showing miles of torched forest, a once lush landscape now eerie and smothered in ash. Satellite images capturing thousands of acres of scorched earth. And on the ground, we saw those fires' terrifying speed outside of this ranch on the border of Brazil and Bolivia.
You can see that it's chewing up not only all that dry brush, but those palm trees are acting like kindling.
The smoke and flame swallowing that ranch. We doubled back to check on that rancher, and through the haze, there he was. But this morning, concern in parts of Brazil over smoke inhalation. In some places, reported respiratory issues among children more than doubling.
It's really only the massive deluges of the rainy season that will be able to put down fires like this, but that's still a couple of months away. Now, scientists here are concerned that these fires will put parts of Brazil past the tipping point, making dry season last longer and permanently turning forest into savanna. Cecilia.
Indeed, a global threat. Okay, Matt Gutman, thank you. We'll turn now to new testimony in the case of Jeffrey Epstein. More than a dozen accusers getting their day in court, demanding justice despite Epstein's death. Diane Macedo is here with more on this. Good morning, Diane.
Cecilia, good morning. It was an emotional and unusual day in court. The purpose was to drop the criminal case against Jeffrey Epstein, usually a routine matter after a death. But the judge in this case decided to have this hearing so that despite his death, Epstein's accusers could be heard.
A dramatic day in court. More than a dozen women accusers of multimillionaire sex offender Jeffrey Epstein speaking out. Their message clear. Epstein's dead, but they still want justice.
Do I feel his death was an appropriate punishment? Absolutely not. It gives nobody justice, and it leaves a lot of unanswered questions.
Among Epstein's accusers, Shantae Davies.
All I could say was a meek, please, no, stop. But that just seemed to excite him more.
She says she kept years of sexual abuse by Epstein bottled up.
It definitely is so empowering to have had that day today, but it still doesn't change the fact that he's not here to, face the music.
Davies tells ABC News she first met Epstein after being recruited by his longtime friend Ghislaine Maxwell for a job as a masseuse. Maxwell has not been charged and has denied all wrongdoing.
It's not how Jeffrey died, but it's how he lived. And we need to get to the bottom of everybody who was involved with that, starting with Ghislaine Maxwell.
Virginia Roberts-Giuffre says Maxwell recruited her as a teenager to be a sex slave to Epstein. She has also claimed Epstein ordered her to have sex with some of his powerful friends, including Prince Andrew, something the prince has denied. The prince released a statement admitting his friendship with Epstein, but saying in part, "At no state during the limited time I spent with him did I see, witness, or suspect any behavior of the sort that subsequently led to his arrest and conviction." Outside of court, Giuffre fired back.
He knows exactly what he's done, and I hope he comes clean about it.
And prosecutors yesterday said a grand jury is already investigating Epstein's death and assured the judge the government will pursue others who may have aided Mr. Epstein. As for his accusers, many have already filed civil suits against his estate. Many more say they plan to, so this case overall is far from over.
So much more to come. Yeah. Diane, thanks. Thanks.
All right, I want to take a turn now overseas to some new video showing a terrifying rhino attack. And this video is incredible. Take a look at this. The zookeeper is actually inside that safari vehicle. He's lucky to be alive after this massive animal charged her car, ramming it with its horn, flipping it over 3 times. This incident happening at a safari park in Germany on Sunday. Sunday. Amazingly, the woman that was inside that car made it out with just a few bruises. The zoo, we just got a statement this morning, says the animal has never shown signs of aggression towards the vehicle before, and it will be sent to a different zoo now where he can sort of live with a herd. But I have an important question here, Michael. If you had to choose between the rhino or Gronk to line up against, who are you choosing?
Gronk, you're going down. That rhino's serious. Yeah, she's lucky to be alive. Yeah, that was scary. But thank you, Tom, for that. And we're going to turn now to World Cup champion Carly Lloyd, who had the chance to make history again. She caught the eye of the NFL with that infamous field goal kick, and is now seriously considering offers to become the first woman to play in the league. Well, we spoke with her last night after she threw out the first pitch at the Phillies game, and TJ Holmes is here. Soccer, football, baseball, triple threat.
She's amazing. But look, there are some professions where you have skills that are easily transferable to other professions. Carly Lloyd is in tip-top physical shape. Her office is a grass field where she competes in front of thousands, and she can kick a ball really far. Stray, what else could she do? Well, she could be the first woman in the NFL.
Driven across, headed down, goal! Carly Lloyd's got two, US has three.
She's already one of the best football players in the world. Now Carly Lloyd is considering taking up a new sport, football. After video went viral of the two-time World Cup soccer champion on a football field kicking and nailing a 55-yarder during a friendly visit to an Eagles-Ravens practice.
I'm sort of toying with the idea of potentially going for it.
Lloyd told us overnight that based on that video, several NFL teams reached out wondering if she can kick it with them. And she even had the opportunity to be in an NFL uniform as early as this week.
I had two teams approach me about potentially playing in the fourth preseason game. Unfortunately, I have my own game to play in on Thursday night.
Her own game? Well, that was the U.S. women's national team playing Portugal in a friendly this Thursday, the same night as those NFL preseason games.
My friends and family are all in my corner, and they all really believe that I could actually do it. And I believe in myself as well with just the proper technique and the right practice and everything.
A casual kick, a viral video, now a historic and pioneering possibility. The first woman ever in the NFL. No pressure.
There's obviously a lot of pressure on a kicker. I think that I tick that box. I've played in world championships. I've had all sorts of pressure around me, and I actually thrive under pressure. So I think mentally I'd be able to do it.
Of course, you do have detractors out there saying this is even a publicity stunt. She couldn't do it. She couldn't be out there. But still, to her credit, she wants to wait until 2020, her trainer says, because she wants to actually work at it, practice, get the technique down, and get it right.
What she's saying, if you listen closely, it sounds like she's ready
for real.
She sounds
and there are no rules barring her in the NFL. She could play.
Not a one. If you can perform, you're good.
If you can kick, you're in. A lot of teams could use her. Well, we're following a lot of other stories this morning. Three-time Super Bowl champ Rob Gronkowski, he's standing by for his first live interview since retiring at 25. Is only on GMA.
Also ahead, new developments in the college admissions scandal. Lori Loughlin and her husband back in court. Now a warning from the judge. But first, let's head back over to Rob.
All right, quickly about Aaron. This is the tropical storm that developed last night. It is closer to us, about 260 miles off the coast of Cape Hatteras, but it will stay off the coast. Rip currents, dangerous surf, and heavy rain, especially for eastern New England. Time now for your rainy cities, brought to you by Allstate.
Fact is, every insurance company hopes you drive safely. But Allstate actually helps you drive safely with DriveWise. It lets you know when you go too fast and brake too hard, with feedback to help you drive safer, giving you the power to actually lower your cost. Unfortunately, you can't do anything about that. Now that you know the truth, are you in good hands?
Temperatures today about 4 or 5 degrees higher than yesterday and some higher humidity, so summer is not over just yet. By noon today, an isolated shower chance, the temperature up to 80 degrees, and then about 84 to 85 later. Expect a few thunderstorms coming through our area between 2 and 7 p.m. Could have some brief downpours and brief heavy rain. And then spectacular weather for the end of the week and sliding into the early part of the Labor Day weekend. 88 on Friday, one of the warmest temperatures, chance of rain late Sunday.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
On this Wednesday.
We rent this cabin every year.
Yeah, it's perfect for us. Affordable, convenient, just what we need.
Like our wireless service, Consumer Cellular. We get everything we need at a really great price.